Let's pretend you are graduating. Let's say you have an exercise science or exercise phys degree in 2021. Is there any advice that you would have for yourself coming out into the current situation?
Oh man, that's a good question. Yeah, if my goal was to be successful in this industry, I think that's kind of where you're going with it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Let me take a second because it's an important question. Um, I'm biased, right? Um, you know, Part of me is like, yeah, go through CCP and the world will be easy, but that's not reality, right? Like, there's a specific coach that CCP is really good for. Um, I would tell that person that's graduating, go out, get a lot of experience and actually working with individuals, and don't get too caught up in learning everything under the sun. Don't get too caught up in what other people in the industry know and what you're seeing on social media. There's a lot of really good shit that comes from just like building relationships with people and working with them, and you're coming out of that thing with some sort of knowledge base, right? Like I came out of that thing with not a lot of knowledge base because I was that person. That I went the kinesiology route and exercise science and all that stuff, and I came out and I'm like, what now? Um, what I would do if I wanted to go that route was I would just go work for someone and work with a lot of people, and the stuff that's inside of my toolbox in terms of knowledge, I would just put that stuff to play. And I would start to understand that stuff in a more real way, like real world way, and understand what works, what doesn't work, what works for this person, what works for that person. And I would work with individuals to do that. So I would almost like put a pause on education for a little bit. I would be like, okay, I'm going to go 12 months. I'm not going to learn anything new. I'm just going to go implement the stuff that I know right now. And I'm not going to beat myself up about not knowing, higher level shit and like all the stuff I'm seeing here and there. And, I'm not going to compare myself to other coaches and trainers around the world. So that would be my advice. Stop education for a little bit, go work with people, understand, like get a real life understanding of what what you don't know, which I think is as important. And then, look at what your niche is going to be and what direction you really want to go in and dive deep into that niche.